So I will set the El Ruderi experiment aside. I will continue to ferment kombucha, which I like a lot, and I will make a new batch of sauerkraut, which I, and especially also one of my dogs, enjoy a lot. All right, so let's start with making sauerkraut. First, I have bought 2 heads of cabbage, a white one, I call them white, I see green, and a red one, I see purple. I like to mix them because I like that color combination. I think it looks very attractive. So first of all, I will cut the base so I can eliminate the larger outside leaves, which I will keep because I can use them later. The rest looks good. You can cut this in a food processor, or you can cut it with a knife, or as you prefer. This is personal preference. With the purple one, the same story. I will cut the base and take off the outer leaves. And then I will halve it and quarter it. Here we go. I'll quarter this too. I will cut out the center portion, which is the hardest part of the whole thing. I don't want that. And then I will start to finely chop this. About like this. How thin you want it depends on your taste or your food processor. This is a nice job for a rainy day, for example. It's supposed to start raining again in a little bit here. All the while the temperatures are in the 90s. So it will be steaming hot outside. And I prefer to stay indoors. With the purple ones, the same story. I will cut out the center. And this is a great time to set the video to fast. And it looks as if I am such a master in speed chopping. I have made a little room because now comes the fun part. I will add about 2 tablespoons of salt. Start with 1. I will work in another one as I need. And I will start to massage my sauerkraut, my future sauerkraut. Working the salt in and moving the sauerkraut to release some water, which will be my brine. Of course, a lot will go overboard, but don't worry, I'll catch it. Here we go. A little more salt. And massaging. See, I just love this color combination. It is slowly starting to release some water. If you live in Texas, this is a workout. And here you can see the brine. It's purple because of my purple cabbage, but you see, that's the water, that's the brine that I want. Here's my jar. I don't need any more salt. And I will start packing this into my jar, hoping that it all fits. Or else I need a bigger jar. I've been known to not be too good eyeballing this. It will fit. How amazing is that? Whoops. And I'll push it down as best I can. And you see now the brine comes up as I push the sauerkraut down. It is covered in brine, which is what I want. It will protect my sauerkraut during the fermentation process. Okay, now to the final chapter. I had reserved one of the outer leaves, which I washed carefully. And I will now place this in the jar to cover my sauerkraut. And then I will use some canning weights to weigh this down. I'll wedge them in a little, like so. And to protect it, I have a cheesecloth, which I will put on top with a rubber band. And this will now go on my counter in a dark corner of my counter space in the kitchen, and it shall ferment. I will check on it daily. I will make sure that everything is submerged under the brine. And I will smell it. When you start to notice the typical sauerkraut smell, this clean fermented smell that comes from sauerkraut, from good sauerkraut. Then I will start to taste test it, because this is, as so many things in life, this is a matter of personal preference. Some people like it more crunchy, some like it more mushy. Go by your taste. All right, so this has been fermenting for most of the week. To be honest, on Thursday, this was already well done. I was in a hurry running to work and didn't have time to film. So I just put it in the refrigerator. I can now, because it's at the point where I like it. It is crunchy still. It is not a mush. I don't like it when it gets too mushy. It has a nice fermented smell. It is still juicy. I will not put it in smaller jars because it is not that much, and it gets eaten fairly fast in this house. But yeah, this is what my end result is for my sauerkraut. You see, it all took the red color of the red cabbage, which I like. And yeah, still quite crunchy. The longer you let it go, the stronger the fermentation taste will be. I don't like it too strong. So I just fermented a few days in the Texas heat out on the countertop. It goes really fast. I have to be careful that it doesn't go too much for my taste. But it is up to anybody's taste if you prefer it a little more mushy and more of a fermentation test. You have to let it go more days. Now let's check the kombucha. This is building a SCOBY. I don't know if you can see this here on top. Also, strong fermentation going on in there. There's the SCOBY building. You see? I'm not touching it with the metal. But yeah, here it is forming. It will, in the end, it will take up the entire surface where it's in touch with the air. And that will help me ferment future batches. It is getting there. I will let it go. I will let it go for a few more days, and then I will put it in individual bottles. Let those bottles go a couple more days, and then put them in the fridge for my consumption. And I will prepare the next batch with the same SCOBY that is building up here. And just use this with more tea and or fruit juice if you want. And of course, sugar.